With the global move toward electric vehicles gathering pace, Australians are clamoring to make the choice of which car best suits their needs. And with more and more manufacturers getting on board of late, EVs are now cheaper than ever, with some set to rival traditional gas and petrol cars for price. Today we are discussing the two cars fighting for the title of Australia's cheapest electric vehicle. So stay right where you are. Let's jump straight in. What's the story? Well, given the rise in popularity of EVs over the past couple of years, more and more people are making the move to clean transport, and the title of the cheapest electric car is set to be hotly disputed over the next few weeks, with a couple of new options being introduced to the Aussie market. Two Chinese companies are set to go head-to-head for dominance down under, the BYD Atto 3 and the MG ZS EV Excite set to drop. The former fans, of course, when developed by BYD Automobile, whilst the latter comes from SAIC Motor, under the British MG banner. It is thought that the MG ZS EV Excite will drop this month as first planned. However, the BYD has reportedly been delayed. Of course, both cars have their pros and cons, and will see price fluctuations from state to state, but for now, Australia has two cars vying for the position of cheapest EV in Australia. We will know more once both cars drop, or at least by Christmas, but it's certainly good for competition to have two cheapish options come to market at the same time. So what do we know about prices? Let's see. The MG ZS EV Excite is a direct replacement and upgrade for the earlier MG ZS EV model, which will of course mean that it is more expensive from the more basic earlier model. The car will reportedly be released alongside the MG ZS EV Essence, with both cars starting at $46,990 and $49,990 respectively. And their direct competitor, the BYD Atto 3, will start at the slightly cheaper price of $44,381. The company will also be offering an extended range model of the Atto 3, which will come to a market at $47,381. However, as we know, prices will differ slightly as each state sets its own tax laws. It is thought that the Atto 3 will be the cheapest option in states such as Tasmania, but not so cheap in Victoria and Western Australia. Whatever happens, both cars will offer their own advantages, with each justifying their price range. What do you guys think is the best option after hearing the price? What do we know about range then? Stay tuned to find out. One of the most worrying aspects of the transition to EVs concerns how far you'll be able to drive them before their batteries run out. When talking about distance before having to recharge, it is spoken in terms of World Harmonized Light Vehicle Testing Procedure, WLTP, a consumption and admission test which gives users an idea of how long they can expect their car's battery to last. In Australia, we'll see this as a kilometer value followed by WLTP. At the minute, it is thought that the MG ZS EV Excite is capable of running around 320 kilometers, which is a decent upgrade on the original MG ZS EV car, which was capable of around 263 kilometers before the battery runs dry. The MG's competitor, the BYD Atto 3, offers the exact same range as the Excite, but the extended range model offers users a significant increase of 400 kilometers on a full charge. Do you guys have an EV? What are you writing in right now? Let us know below. So which one should punters opt for? Let's discuss. Both the price and range of both vehicles are negligible, with the only real difference being the range of the extended range Atto 3. So there's no real obvious answer to this one. Both available in similar colors, they also look similar. So the biggest difference is probably the manufacturers themselves. MG is a world-renowned manufacturer, whereas BYD is completely new to most car owners. However, although MG has more brand recognition, they're usually pretty cheap, so it's not a classic brand by any means. One of the best things to do when deciding which one of these cars to buy might just be to wait for the initial reviews once both rides drop. Things will become much more transparent once the first reports are in. Which one do you think will garner more favorable reviews? Let us know below. What does this mean for the future then? Stick around. Okay, so there have been murmurings from some punters which suggest that the cheapest model, the basic model BYD Atto 3 at $44,381, isn't actually that cheap. That translates to just over £25,000 or $30,000 USD. Before the masses are completely sold on electric vehicles, the prices need to come down again somewhat significantly. I mean, most of society are working class, so the idea of spending that much money on a new EV just isn't realistic. Some reports have suggested that price and range parity with petrol-powered vehicles won't actually happen for another decade or so, which is a pretty big wait, especially for governments who want to make the move to EVs imminently. Of course, the sooner the world makes the move to EVs, the better, but it is going to take some time yet. Would you guys be willing to make the move to EVs once they become cheaper? What do you think are the biggest obstacles for the industry going forward? Give us your thoughts in the comments. Next up, we're discussing one of the biggest obstacles facing EVs. Many people won't even entertain the idea of buying an EV due to the length of time it takes to fully charge them. At the moment, the quickest EV can be fully charged in around half an hour, which people in high-profile jobs working long hours just won't consider. Some cars can take up to a day and a half before they are fully charged too, which is pretty crazy. Given the fact that it takes less than 5 minutes to fill up a gas tank, the contrast is stark. However, good news is on the horizon. Car manufacturing companies across the globe are currently developing new lithium-ion batteries, as well as solid-state batteries, which will be able to charge at a much quicker rate. Developers are hoping to drop charging times below 20 minutes, but some have suggested that this still isn't good enough. However, Harvard scientists are reportedly on the verge of producing a battery that can recharge 50% in under 3 minutes, which is a huge breakthrough. It is also thought it can be recharged thousands of times before the battery itself is significantly degraded, which is another positive. If this is actually feasible, then this is a huge step in finally reaching a time when batteries can fully recharge in 10 minutes or less. However, some detractors have suggested that many countries around the world don't have the infrastructure, nor an electricity grid capable of handling millions of EVs. What do you guys make of this? So what are some other good EV options? Stay with us. Well, of course, it's still early days in the EV industry, and as such, there aren't too many options out there. But there are a couple. The Nissan Leaf is probably the best option right now. If you're looking for a cheaper option than something like a Tesla and can be picked up for around $54,000, there is also the Hyundai Kona Electric Elite, which is available for around $57,000. However, people who are looking to buy an EV might want to consider purchasing a second-hand car. Of course, the same precautions should be taken as when buying a second-hand petrol-powered vehicle, as the same thing will happen with the car parts. For example, lithium batteries degrade over time, so this is something you should look out for if you're considering a second-hand option. And finally, a delay from VW Group is affecting releases from Audi, Porsche, and Bentley. Don't go anywhere. Software problems from VW Group's Carrier division are reportedly delaying new EV releases from some of the game's biggest players. Audi, Porsche, and Bentley have all been affected, with Audi's new Artemis project reportedly now being delayed for 3 more years until 2027. Bentley have also planned to sell only battery-powered cars by 2030, but that has now been thrown into doubt. Adding to this is the Audi Q6 and the Porsche Macan, which has seen delays and their release dates next year are now in jeopardy. It is all down to the Carrier being seriously behind schedule, which is developing software for all these models. The VW Group was reportedly set to launch a 2.0 software generation, which is capable of autonomous driving by 2024, but that seems like a pipe dream at the moment. Whatever happens, the VW Group will need to up their game if they want to keep the big boys happy. What do you guys make of this disappointing news? Let us know below. As always, thanks for joining us today, and remember to stop by again next time for some more fun reveals. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video with any EV enthusiasts you might have lurking on those socials. Bye guys!